It's a great day at the Academy of Scholars. Welcome to another episode of Scholarly Speaking Live with Dr. Stacy Lambert-Johnson, the Director of Student Success at the Academy of Scholars. I am Benny Crane Jr., the Assistant Director of Student Success. Today's topic will discuss how to identify your child's gifts and talents.
Thank you for joining us for today's live session. No matter where you're joining us from, whether you're at work or at home, we pray that you're having a great AOS day and hope that you can visit us here on campus someday soon. So the last time we met, we talked about how to help your child cope with stress and anxiety. Well, this week we're exploring something that could actually cause your child's stress and anxiety, and that is how to identify your child's talents and not your own. But before we get started, Benny, where can our viewers watch today's live session once it's over?
Everything from this show will end up on our website, academyofscholars.com, including both the audio and video versions. Now, if you prefer looking at us, you can always find the video version on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you love podcasts, you'll be able to download the audio versions anywhere you download your favorite podcast. We want to take the opportunity to say hello to all the people who are joining us live today. Also, shout out to all those people who follow us on our social media platforms. We appreciate you joining us. Now do us a favor. Tell your friends we're on. All you have to do is hit that share button right there. Comment and tell us about your children's gifts. How did you discover them? Are you living vicariously through your children? Tell us, we want to know.
Yes, we want to know. You know, as parents, Benny, we all have hopes and dreams for our children, right?
Yes.
I mean, I know that when my children were little, I wanted them to have more exposure than I had growing up to extracurricular activities. So I signed them up for everything. One best kept secret about me that not everyone knows is that I was a Girl Scout from the age of 5 all the way into my senior year of high school.
Oh, okay.
And I became a Girl Scout leader.
Wow.
I mean, I loved everything about the Girl Scouts, and I wanted my daughter to feel the same way. So I signed her up at the age of 4 thinking that she would love it and stick with it the way that I did. But guess what?
What?
She didn't. She went as far as 5th grade, and once she got to middle school, being in the Girl Scout was no longer cool.
Wow.
So needless to say, I was disappointed, but realized that it really was her choice and not mine. I mean, I signed her up for plenty of other activities such as ballet and dance, music lessons, and cheerleading. Of course, each time I would ask her if she wanted to do these things, but mostly I was going down the list of what I wanted to do when I was a child that my parents couldn't afford to sign me up for. Instead of identifying her skills and her talents and her interests and signing her up for those activities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my children are young, Stacy, and I have to just face it. I'm not. I have not pushed my kids to love what I did because I know better. Now, I imagine, though, if my children had been born right after I graduated from college, there's no doubt in my mind that my daughter would have been a cheerleader and my son would have been playing football at 4 or 5 years old. But by the time they were born, I had been exposed to so much research on this kind of thing that I didn't do it. For example, by the time they came along, I had been exposed to the research on brain development and concussions that made me question if I wanted my son playing football at a young age, if at all.
That's right.
Now, if there's something I do to live vicariously through my kids, is to push them to give their greatest effort in everything they do because that's what it takes for them to be great.
Right.
So sometimes I'm pushing them to train or study or whatever more than they might want to.
Yeah. Well, today is about exactly what we're talking about right now. How can we as parents help our children identify their talents and strengths without imposing what we want them to do, right?
Yes, allowing our children to discover and develop their own talents and gifts rather than pushing them towards gifts and talents that are ours as parents.
That's right. So we're going to jump right into it. First, as parents, we need to pay attention to what our children like to do during their free time. Do they like to be active or sit quietly? When given a choice, what do they gravitate towards? A piano, an electronic device, or the playground? When you pay attention to what your child does during their free time, it can give you an indication of their interests, which can then be nurtured and groomed into a talent.
Being observant is very important. Kids usually don't recognize their own talents, and what usually happens is they gravitate to them instinctively. If your son shows a particular interest in a paint box, for example, It could be a sign that you have a Basquiat in the making. He may start out making more of a mess than a masterpiece, but your patience will be rewarded as his talent matures.
That's right. Now, second, parents should encourage children when they express themselves. For example, if your child likes to draw and paint, like Benny said, you should encourage the development of that craft by helping to groom it. Purchase and provide the resources that they would need in order to continue to explore that strength. Let them move at their own pace.
Now, the thing to think about here is that your children's talents need opportunities to develop.
Right.
If they don't get the opportunities for their skills to flourish, they may never get the chance to develop those talents to their full potential. And it's important to provide a range of opportunities for your child so that any hidden talents can emerge and blossom. So dads, I'm talking to you here. You have to provide your boys more opportunities than just playing with basketballs and footballs and baseballs. You can do this by introducing them to different topics, games, skills, and activities, and helping him to pursue them.
That's right. Third, parents should praise their children's efforts. When we praise our children's efforts, they're more likely to take risks and not give up if they make a mistake. This helps to improve your child's talent.
Praise and encouragement will go a long way to developing your children's recognized talents. Let them know how proud of their abilities you are, and show interest in them even if you don't have the same interest. And give them a chance to show off in front of friends and families. Christmas is a great time to do that.
Get on up there, do dance for your uncle.
Their support will then reinforce yours.
Fourth, have we always been there? We've all been there. It's like, you want to sing that song for your cousin?
Sing.
Like, really? All right, fourth, what are you currently doing to develop your child's talents? Is he or she involved in extracurricular activities related to their interests? I mean, I brag on my daughter-in-law often because I think she's just a phenomenal mom. One of the things that she does with my grandson, who's 4 years old, is that when he shows an interest in something, take for example a sport, she overexposes him, right? So like he likes watching and playing football. So they take him to the local high school football games, the NFL games. He plays football on the PlayStation. They watch college football games. Everything football until he shows interest in something else. And then they move on to something else. Now, he may not be able to play a lick of football ever, but she encourages his interest.
Take every opportunity you can to broaden and enrich your children's understanding of whatever they take interest in. This will guide them and inspire their drive.
Right.
Do things like talk to them about the achievement and techniques of experts. And as Stacy talked about with her daughter-in-law, let them see others in action doing those things. If your daughter shows interest in acting, take her to the theater. If your son likes swimming, watch swimming with him on television or find a competition locally to take him to. Open doors for them wherever you can.
Fifth, like I mentioned earlier, parents should encourage their children's interests and not their own. Just because you were a basketball star in high school doesn't mean that your child will do the same. A lot of parents tend to pick out activities that they're interested in for their kids, like I did. Like with my daughter, I picked out all the activities that I wanted to do because my mom couldn't afford to pay for it when I was little. But as parents, we make a huge mistake when we impose our own interests on our children. If they have no passion for our interests, this can lead to antisocial behavior and even depression. Allow your child to choose freely based on their own interests and passion, and you just provide support.
Such great advice there, Stacy. And this doesn't mean that you shouldn't expose them to any of your interests at all. It's just being conscious of exposing your kids to as much as you can and embracing their passions and interests.
Sixth, parents, make sure you don't overload or bombard your children with activity after activity after activity, hoping that something sticks. Some parents sign their kids up for every activity known to man, filling their child's daily schedule with competitions, meets, recitals, and more. Doing this, parents, can lead to your child feeling pressured and can affect your child's grades in school, or worse, their health, stress, and anxiety, right? Avoid doing this by finding out what your child is truly passionate about and just supporting them. They don't have to be the best at it or rush to learn the new skill. And being pushy can be discouraging.
Hey man, you preaching today, Stacy.
I'm trying.
Keep in mind that your children's talent is only worth pursuing if they enjoy it. No matter how good a chess player your child is, it will not benefit them if they're bored to tears by it. Or competition is agonizingly stressful. It's got to be about what they want.
Finally, parents, start early nursing your child's talents. This will make it easier for your child to become familiar and confident with their talent, causing them to take risks, and try new things. Studies show that talented performers like athletes and chess players to even musical talents were introduced early in their lives to the talent by their parents between the ages of 2 and 5. This early exposure helped them to master their skills and become talented in their craft.
Your children may just well be the first person in your family to have a talent for gymnastics or the piano, or they might have the ability to make people laugh and could be the next Kevin Hart.
That's right.
Talent can appear in any form, and all they need is your help drawing it out so these talents can shine.
Yes, and parents, once your child discovers their talents, step aside and watch your child blossom. Stand back and watch your child practice and grow at his or her own rate. Be the guide on the side and not the sage on the stage, so that your child feels motivated, supported, and not pressured. Avoid criticism and offer comfort and support when needed. Doing this will help your child build resiliency, confidence, and the tools needed to find success and happiness in whatever they do. Well, what do you think? How have you encouraged your child's talents? Have you already started to groom their passions? Did you learn something new from today's episode? Comment and let us know your thoughts on today's topic.
If you're looking for help and more information to help you identify your child's gifts, go to our website, academyofscholars.com/scholarly speaking resources. In the meantime, we suggest you check out the book, Discover Your Children's Gifts by Don and Katie Fortune. This book provides a handbook to help parents recognize and develop their children's God-given talents. It even includes a 13-week study guide to assist you. And remember, no matter where you live in the world, you can give your child access to an exceptional Christian affordable education with the Academy of Scholars Premier Online Learning. Not only does the Academy of Scholars give your child the opportunity to engage in school at their own pace, but we also provide a comprehensive curriculum, one that will have your child excited about school each day. The Academy of Scholars Premier Online Learning is the online school you've been looking for.
I hope you enjoyed today's live session. To learn more about our amazing school, the Academy of Scholars, please go to our website at academyofscholars.com. Join us next time after the Christmas break as we continue our live discussions. Next time, we'll be talking about how to help your children set goals, especially as we're talking about the New Year's and New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
Until next time, I am Dr. Stacy Lambert-Johnson.
And I'm Benny Crane Jr.
Saying
Goodbye
and be blessed. And Merry
Christmas
and Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year.